The Louie T Network is powered by MusicHead University. MusicHeads, classes in session. Turn me up. Enroll on YouTube now. Link is in the description.
Who else could it be? Me, your man, Louie T. Welcome to the Command Post Live. You know what it is. Post up. Take command. I, of course, am your commander-in-chief, Louie T. Thank you for joining me. What you thought I was going to leave you without some product today? I was going to leave the Aiyuk stuff alone because he had a post yesterday. He had a story yesterday that was crazy. He had another story this morning, that's no longer on his page, where he was tossing money out of the bag. And that's another sub at the 49ers. Again, going back to the, you basically paid me, what was it? 80 million in 5 months. But he had another story that he just recently posted of him talking about he's back in action, almost like he's going on tour, right? He's talking about, I'm BA, I'm back, I'm going on tour. Go get your tickets at www.commanders.com. And Aiyuk is a funny ass dude. He's trolling at a high rate now. Like now he's having fun with it. But it's starting to bother people. It's really striking a chord with people. This is one of the biggest, I think he is now turned into a very volatile player for some people. I think he is turned into a figure that went from sympathetic, oh man, he's being held hostage, 49ers aren't going to get anything for him, just let him go, to some people now starting to turn on him. And he's becoming sort of a lightning rod in terms of the fan base and people who support this team, people who, cover the team. I don't know if you guys caught wind of Chris Russell's rant on social media. Who cares about what he thinks anyway, right? Like first of all, I never listened to Chris Russell. That's number one. Number two, if anybody who was listening to him probably stopped listening to Chris Russell 4 or 5 years ago, but that's no here nor there, right? He has an opinion. And, I think most of the people who are company men who, are buttoned up, they don't understand what's going on here, nor do they care, right? They just see a guy acting a fool on social media and they don't want anything to do with it. And that's fine. There are people within the fan base that are diehard fans. Our guy, Duran, Ab, right? Our guy, Ab, right? Abner Duran. You don't want anything to do with him. You don't want nothing to do with him. He's been adamant. I don't want anything to do with this guy, right? And there are a lot of fans that feel like that echo that sentiment. And he is, to me, it's just hilarious how everyone has a take. And granted, we're in the season now where this is the most polarizing figure and topic to discuss, and it's very polarizing within the fan base. There's very few NFL topics to discuss right now. We're in the actual dead. This is the one dead period that the NFL actually has. From about June 16th, let's say June the 20th. Most NFL mini camps are done by June 20th. From June 20th to July 21st, let's call it July 18th, because you have some teams that report around the 17th, 18th of July. That's the one dead period that actually exists in the NFL. Not a lot of news in the NFL news cycle. And so this is getting a lot of buzz because Aiyuk is really pushing the narrative. And I think he's doing this intentfully. I think people think he's crazy. And I think that's a false narrative. We're going to talk about that here in a second. I think he knows exactly what he's doing. Again, you don't have to agree with his methods. You don't have to agree with how he's going about his business. Is he immature? Yes. Yes, he is. He's even admitted it. He admitted when he was doing this the first time with San Francisco, when he was trying to get a deal done, he said, I probably went too far. He knows what he's doing. But keep in mind, it worked the first time. It worked. He got what he wanted. When you reward that type of behavior, you're reinforcing that if you do this, you will get the intended result that you're looking for. So if it worked the first time, in his mind, I'm going to do it again, right? Is that faulty logic? I believe so. But I keep saying this. Being immature doesn't make you a bad human being. And I think that's where the line is being blurred here with Brandon Aiyuk. Because now people are taking his actions on social media. And if you want to question his mental state, hell, I've even done that throughout this process. Early on, earlier when he wasn't speaking and he was just posting things and there were no words attached to it, you just had to draw inferences. I was a little worried about his mental state. Was he working out? It looked like he was gaining weight. I was worried about him. Then I saw he's working out. He's in shape. I hear him talking. I see what he's trying to do, and I understand where he's coming from. Again, would I do this? Would I operate in this manner? No. But I always say that being immature doesn't lead to being a bad person, right? Like there's levels of immaturity. Ja Morant is immature, but his immaturity leads to him putting himself and others at risk, in harm's way. There again, Ja beat up a teenager in his backyard, right? Whether it was right or wrong, that case has been dismissed. He still beat up a teenager, right? Ja took a loaded gun into a strip club. Ja Morant's people pointed a gun and a red laser at the Indiana Pacers bus. His actions, his immaturity has endangered other people. There's levels to this. That's not what Brandon Aiyuk is, but yet that's how people are treating him, as if he's doing something that is so far gone and so egregious that he shouldn't be on this team. If he were Brandon Jackson from Soundview Projects in the Bronx that dropped out of school in 10th grade and he was posting all these videos that he's posting, throwing money out of a bag, you would just keep scrolling down your timeline. You wouldn't even stop and think about it. Why? It's just another 28-year-old dude flexing on the gram. Because he's Brandon Aiyuk, though, now he's crazy. What are we talking about? What are we doing? This is that whole notion of because you're an athlete, you must be held to a higher standard. Again, he's immature. Everybody matures at a different rate. That's a fact. I know dudes right now that are 40 years old still acting like they 18, bro. And I know 18-year-olds that act like they 40. Been 40 since they was 10. It's levels to this shit. I'm hearing guys like Dick Sherman talk about, well, what happens if you bring in Brandon Aiyuk and he's not getting targets and all of a sudden he gets upset? Is he going to do this in Washington? When has he ever done that in San Francisco with Brock Purdy or Jimmy Garoppolo? When was he ever doing that with them? You think he's going to wild out on Jaden Daniels? Like, make it make sense. What are we talking about? Why are we making up narratives and making up shit? You want to say that this is a crazy situation? Adam Schefter's like, yo, this shit is bonkers. Yeah, this is crazy. I agree. Albert Breer said, this shit is wild. And he's not helping the situation because he hasn't filed for reinstatement. He hasn't threatened to show up. So yeah, this shit is all crazy. You showing up, you doing videos and putting all this energy into doing videos instead of you putting in energy to try to show the 49ers that you're ready to show up, which would essentially force their hand to release you. That shit is crazy. I agree. You want to challenge him on something, challenge him on that. Don't challenge him on him being a bad teammate. Him screaming and balking for the... He's never... This ain't Stephon Diggs who's done that, which is what forced him out of Buffalo. This ain't Stephon Diggs. He's never done that.
So let's not paint the narrative and the picture of a guy who all of a sudden going to show up in Washington and be this disgruntled teammate. Drive a wedge in the locker room. He ain't never been that guy. And you really think he going to do that to 5? I think the real question, and this would be really crazy. What if the Commanders don't want this guy? Yet he's out here parading as if the deal is done. I mean, this guy is selling himself as a Commander. It's getting very aggressive now. We went from him like innuendos, the hat, the football, right, to go Commanders to yesterday, hey, release me. Now, that's the first time he just blatantly, flat out said, release me. Release me. If you think I'm capping, if you don't think I'm ready to go out here and blaze some shit, release me then. If I'm capping, release me. If I ain't shit, if I'm not gonna hoop, release me, bro. What difference it make? He went from that to, hey, y'all come see me. I'm about to go on tour with the Commanders. Y'all go cop your tickets at www.commanders.com. Like, you would think he already plays for the Commanders. That shit is wild because what if he gets released and the Commanders are like, yeah, we good, bro. We appreciate the sentiment and we're glad that you really rock with us like that, but we good. That would be crazy, but that's not the case. That's not the case. I don't believe that's the case. I don't think he does either. So ultimately, I said all of that to say this. I want to start here because that's the conversation that we're going to have tonight. Because I think there are some Commanders falsehoods and truths that I feel like are out there, narratives that are starting to be spun that I'm going to throw my 2 cents in on tonight, right? And there are so many more of these that we can do, and maybe we'll do that. You know, maybe we'll take this as a theme of some shows, you know, truths and falsehoods, and we'll do this again. But I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in front of me tonight. We're gonna tackle all 5 of them tonight, right? So, first one. First, we'll call it a situation. Brandon Aiyuk is crazy. True or false? That's very objective, right? All of these are very subjective, you know, questions where it's open-ended and it's left up to interpretation, right? Brandon Aiyuk is crazy. I could put 10 people in the room and 5 would think he's crazy, 5 would not think he's crazy. Just depends on who the room is, right? And who it's comprised of. The younger crowd is going to say, nah, he ain't crazy, bro. He just flexing on the gram. He a funny dude. I'm enjoying this. Nah, he ain't crazy. Get older guys in there and all of a sudden, hell yeah, he's crazy. Don't sign him. Get him out of here. It's wilding, right? It really just depends on the demographic, I truly believe. Ultimately, I think that's false. Brandon Aiyuk knows exactly what he's doing. He knows exactly what he's doing. I will say this, is he being negligent? Yes, I believe so, because I think this could have been solved a long time ago had he just threatened to show up, reinstated himself, did all the things he needed to do. The 49ers don't want the distraction. Again, I'm one of these people that believe part of the reason that they canceled minicamp is because they didn't even want an opportunity for Brandon Aiyuk to threaten to show up. Again, that's a small piece of why they canceled it. If you think that's the reason they did it, then yes, you're crazy. But if you think that didn't go into the decision-making process at all, 0%, you're also crazy. Bottom line is, they can't run from Aiyuk showing up or not showing up. Either way, it's a distraction. It's less of a distraction if he doesn't show up. If he does show up or he threatens to show up, it's a major distraction that they don't want. And that's when you'll see action being taken. That's where he's negligent, because instead of him making all of these damn IG videos, he could be taking the steps right now. And maybe he's already got that in the works and he can troll them all he wants right now, kind of twist the knife, if you will, because he knows that at a certain point, as we get closer to the start of training camp for the San Francisco 49ers, he's going to start doing the things that he needs to do and taking the steps that he needs to take to start this process, to put the pressure on the 49ers to make a move.
But if he seriously thinks that him doing these IG videos and calling out the 49ers is going to force their hand somehow, he's wrong. But that doesn't make him crazy. It makes him maybe a bit immature. Not a bit. It makes him immature and possibly negligent. But it doesn't make, and maybe even a bit ignorant. Ignorance is bliss. Maybe even a bit ignorant. But it doesn't make him crazy. He's a wild boy. He's a wild boy, right? But he ain't crazy. He knows exactly what he's doing. He's strategically doing this, by the way. But again, I think it's wasted energy and effort that could be, I feel like, channeled in a totally different way that could get the result that you're looking for. But that's nor here nor there. Is Brandon Aiyuk crazy? No. I don't believe that to be the case. If he were truly crazy, he wouldn't be able to stop. And the minute he gets released and he shows up here, all of this shit stops. I guarantee it. Will he still be on social media doing this and doing that? Yeah. But it won't be to this extent. He's got a brand, and he might still be out there posting videos for his brand and this, that, and the third. But you won't be seeing he's not going to be calling out the 49ers anymore. He gets signed by the Commanders. A lot of this ceases to exist. He's doing this for a purpose. Next situation. Now let's talk about the Commanders. Let's talk about ball. All right. Let's get to some real topics. Situation. Terry McLaurin will get 10 targets a game this season, as promised by offensive coordinator David Blau. False. That is a falsehood. That is a falsehood, if I've ever heard one. Let's talk about that particular statement and what it means and what it entails. Terry McLaurin, let's do the math. All right. You didn't have to sleep at a Holiday Inn last night, and you didn't have to graduate from Harvard to be able to do simple math. 17 games times 10 targets a game is what? 170 targets, folks. 170 targets. For purposes of giving you a framework and a reference from which to pull from, Terry McLaurin's career high in targets is 134 back in his second season in the league of 2020, when he played 15 games in a 16-game season. Okay? 134. Continuing to give you a working framework, right? And something to pull from. In 2024, his first season with Jaden Daniels, a season in which he had 82 catches, Terry only had 117 targets in 17 games. Okay? 17 targets, or 117 targets in a 17-game season. In a season in which he played all 17 games. It's hard for me to envision Terry in an offense, by the way, this year, that is going to feature more of the run game, which by a byproduct of that will feature more explosive plays, which should shorten the field, shorten the amount of the length of drives. And again, we'll see what the defense does, and we'll see how often the football is given back to this offense. But you were more likely to see Terry, and obviously if there wasn't this concentration on getting him the requisite targets that he needed with Cliff, you were more likely to see him hit 170 targets with Cliff because the offense was so wide open and it was more pass happy. This is not going to be as pass happy of an offense. You're not going to see as many throws. Again, Jaden wasn't one that was throwing it 40 times a game anyway, but unless something goes terribly wrong in a game, you're not going to see Jaden slinging it 37, 45 times more likely than not, because they're going to be more balanced. And you're going to see more explosive plays, which is going to shorten the field and the amount of snaps offensively that you're getting. So, and again, you're still going to have to spread the football around. In my mind, especially if you bring in a Brandon Aiyuk, you're already getting the ball to Chig as well. I can't envision Terry having 170 targets. He's never even come remotely close to that in his career. And I don't think we're going to have more offensive snaps than we did in 2024, than we did in 2020. I think we're going to have way more offensive snaps than we did in 2025, right? Way more snaps. We were awful in 2025 in terms of time of possession, controlling the football, etc. Defense was terrible too. So it took away offensive opportunities. But I'll be shocked if Terry exceeds 170 targets, which is the average of 10 targets a game. I think that's a great number to throw out. It sounds great. We all love it. We love to hear it. Terry loves to hear it. It sounds great, but I think that's a false narrative that has been created. All David Blau did with that was he made sure that there's going to be an emphasis to get Terry the ball. And I do think there will be an emphasis. And I wouldn't be shocked if Terry sets a new career high in targets this year. But it won't be 170. It might be 142 targets, which is good. That's great for him. It's not the 170 that essentially he's been promised, or we've been promised. Both of us have been promised. Next situation. The offensive line of the Washington Commanders is ready to be one of the best in the National Football League. False. False. Here's why. I think this offensive line is 1 year away from being able to make that distinction. Now, there's a lot that needs to take place this year for us to even be in that conversation heading into next year. To me, I like where this offensive line is heading. There's a chance that I could love where this offensive line is heading after this season. But we need to see year 2 of Josh Connolly Jr. As excited as I am for that young man's sophomore campaign, based off of the changes that we've seen to his body, his mentality, and the work he's putting in with an all-pro caliber tackle in Laremy Tunsil, I'm excited as one can be for the second year of an offensive lineman. But I still need to see it. Because what I saw last year, I made the statement that I don't think that's a Pro Bowl tackle over there. I think he's a Morgan Moses type, which is a very good starter for a long time in this league, but never elite. I need to see elite from him in order to feel like this offensive line has a chance to be one of the best in football. I think you've got 2 elite players on that line. I've already made the statement that Samuel Cosmi will be back to his all-pro, Pro Bowl caliber form this year because he's completely healthy and he's back like cooked crack. Along with Laremy Tunsil, you've got 2 massive pieces on this offensive line that are ready to go. Can you make it 3 in Josh Connolly Jr.? And then the reason why I think this offensive line is a year away, we've got to figure out who your starting left guard is. If Brandon Coleman can lock up that position, because I think Chris Paul can play left guard and he'll be solid, but I think there's a ceiling on how good he could be, especially in this particular offense that is really catered to an offensive lineman that has athleticism and can get out and go much faster than slow. That is not Chris Paul. This offense is built for a guy like Brandon Coleman, but is Coleman ready? Is he capable of being anything more than a serviceable backup? This is the year for him to prove that he can be a starter on this offensive line and that he can be the type of guy that they drafted him to be in the 3rd round in the 2024 NFL draft. If he can step up and showcase his skill set this year, then all is left is center. I don't think Nick Allegretti's the answer at center long term. I think he can do a bang-up job this year. Assuming health, I think Nick Allegretti can be fine, but he's not the long-term answer. We all know this. So the question then becomes, is Matt Golban capable of being that guy or not? We probably won't know this year. More likely than not, we won't find out. So I think if you're able to solidify left guard this year, Connolly takes that massive step forward, you can figure out center in the offseason, whether that's Matt Golban's ready in year 2, or you go out in free agency and sign yourself a center, or you spend high-level draft capital on one next year, whatever that looks like. Then I think we can have the conversation about this offensive line being among the best in football. I think we're 1 year away from that. I hope I'm wrong. And I hope they're ready to ascend this year and they're ready to take that massive step this year. And we're looking at this group, because I'll tell you right now, if this group is borderline to elite to elite, this is going to be a hard offense to stop. A damn hard offense to stop. Nearly impossible. With 5 back there with time to survey the field, to build a house. You imagine 5 with Jalen Hurts type time to throw the football? Could you imagine that? Unbelievable. Next situation. Chig Okonkwo is ready to set career highs across the board. Let me repeat that. Chig Okonkwo, getting chiggy with it. Na 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 na. Getting chiggy with it. Is ready to set career highs across the board. Fact. That is true. That is true. Again, give you some background here, right? Let's set the stage. Chig Okonkwo basically set career highs across the board last year in 2025. This was his split, right? This was his stat line. 56 catches, 560 yards receiving, 2 touchdowns on 79 targets. The 56 catches were a career high. The 560 yards were a career high. And the 79 targets were a career high. The only thing that wasn't a career high was the 2 touchdowns. His career high is 4. Now, you're telling me that on a team that in 2024, Zach Ertz had 66 catches for 660 yards, we'll call it, and 7 touchdowns, right? Or 11 touchdowns. I think it was 7 touchdowns. And then last year, in an abbreviated season, with all kinds of turmoil at quarterback, Zach Ertz had 50 catches. Again, keep in mind, his season was cut short. He didn't finish the season. Injury that ended his season and potentially his career in Minnesota with what, about 3 games left, I'd say? What do we have left after that? Feel like we had Dallas, Philly left after that game, if I'm not mistaken. Dallas, Philly. So 3 games left. He had 50 catches. You think in those final 3 games, he wasn't going to amass at least 10 catches and get back to 60 catches? Chig's never had 60 in his career. You think for 1 second Chig's not about to have 60 catches this year? You're right. You think, again, Zach Ertz had over 600 yards in 2024, and he was close to 500 last year, over 500 last year, somewhere in that neighborhood. You really think Chig's not getting over 600? Again, healthy Chig isn't eclipsing 600 yards? And you can forget about the 2 touchdowns, right? Or the 4 in his career, career high of 4. If Chig is what we think he is, which I have no doubts that he's going to be, you can put him down for at least a bare minimum of 6 touchdowns. We know how much Jaden loves targeting the tight end in the red zone if they can win. We watched that Zach Ertz option route 15 million times where he faked like he was running the out and broke inside, and Jaden put it right between the 8 and the 6. You can envision that route in your head right now. Over and over and over again. The Detroit game in the playoffs. The Atlanta game clincher, playoff clincher in overtime in 2024. I mean, how many times you see him run? He did it again against the Bears in 2025 in the back of the end zone. You can envision him running that route a trillion times. You don't think you're going to see that from Chig? Okay. There's no doubt that a healthy Chig is going to smoke his career highs previously. I think Chig is easily, a healthy Chig is easily with 65 to 75 catches, somewhere in that neighborhood for over 800 yards and at least 6. I'm going with somewhere between 6 to 8 touchdowns. All career highs. Targets are going to be, if he's got 65 to 75 catches, he's going to smash his previous targets at 79, right? If he's going to have 65 to 75 catches. So he said career highs across the board, bro. Last situation. The defense has to produce the football for the team to thrive. Let me say that one more time. Defense has to produce the football for the team to thrive. That's false. That's false. Would we like them to produce the football? Hell yeah. Can this football team thrive without the football being produced at a high level? Yeah, it can. We've seen them do it before. You don't need to go any further back than 2024 when we were +1 in the plus-minus category. 17 produced turnovers against 16 giveaways, right? 17 takeaways against 16 giveaways. If you don't turn it over and you force punts on third down, you get off the field on third downs, and you get the ball back to the offense, this team can still be very prolific and dangerous. Would we like shorter fields? Would we like this defense to produce the football, maybe even score a touchdown or two on their own? Yes, we're dying for that. We want the ball to be life. But what if the ball still ain't life? What if we still on life support when it comes to that? What if we flatline and then they got to keep bringing us back with the defibrillator? Can we still thrive? Yeah. You know why? The Minnesota Vikings on third downs last year, 4th in the league at 35%. 4th best third down defense at 35%. The Minnesota Vikings in 2024, 2nd best third down defense at 35%. Let me say that again. 2025, Minnesota Vikings, 4th best third down defense at 35%. Minnesota Vikings in 2024, 2nd best third down defense at 35%. So each of the last 2 years, the Vikings have had top 5 third down defense at 35% both years. If we're getting off the field defensively at a 35% clip or better, we're going to get the ball back to the offense a ton. And in some of those instances, Tress Way's going to pin the opponent at the 7-yard line with a fair catch. And if you force a 3 and out, something that we've failed to do since the, beginning of time, right? Since eternity, right? If we're able to get a 3 and out in that situation and they're punting with their punter lined up 4 yards deep in their own end zone, you're more likely than not, and that's not a guarantee, but you're more likely than not gonna see Jalen Lane field that punt at his own 43-yard line and return it 17 yards to the plus 40. We haven't seen field position like that here in what feels like a dog's age. That's just as good as a turnover. If Tressway can pin them, the defense can get a 3-and-out stop. They punt the football. Jalen Lane gets a 17-yard return after fielding it at the 43-yard line, and we're starting our drive 1st and 10 from the Giants 40-yard line, 1st and 10 from the Rams 40-yard line, 1st and 10 from the Eagles 40-yard line. If you're in the plus 40, that's as good as a turnover. If they can get off the field defensively at a 35% clip, we are in business. Would we love for them to go out and produce 34 takeaways? Hell yes. Hell yes. We would. Because you know Jaden is going to take care of the rock. He's going to protect the Duke. So if they produce 34 takeaways, you know we ain't giving it away half of that. Are you kidding me? If we finish plus 17 in the plus minus category, it's over. Let us finish plus 5 or plus 7. We feel good about that. Could you imagine double digits, though? But it don't even got to be all of that. Like I just said, if we're plus 5 or plus 7, if we're plus 4, and you're getting off the field at a 35% clip on 3rd downs, we can eat and eat good in the neighborhood with that. All right, so let's that's truth and falsehoods right there. Let's get to a word from our sponsor, come back on the other side, and then we'll get to the comment section, and then we'll get out of here. I ain't gonna keep you here too long. All right, so shout out to PrizePicks for sponsoring this stream. If you are not a member of the PrizePicks family, here's an opportunity for you to become one. Link is in the description of this video. Click that link. It'll take you to where you can download the app. It's available in states like Texas, Florida, and Cali. Use the promo code HMA as a first-time user. That will unlock an opportunity for you to play $5 and get $50 instantly in lineup bonuses when you use the promo code HMA. What's going on in the World Cup game right now? U.S. is playing, right? That game started at roughly 10 o'clock. I'm actually interested to see what we're doing against Turkey. U.S. is down at halftime 2-1. Okay, get your life together. We've already advanced out of this group, but you don't want to start losing and shit. So that's not good. Anyway, I got to you guys a little later tonight. Did I tell you guys why? I'll tell you guys why on the other side of that if I haven't already done so. But so I wasn't able to give y'all any winners, but check your boy out though. I gave y'all this one, what? Not yesterday. Yesterday, it was yesterday. I gave y'all this one yesterday. Another winner, chicken dinner. That's the second one this week, right? I'm 2 for 3 this week. So your boy is hot. But man, I love these WNBA women, bro. I love these women, man, because they deliver. Unlike the men who they're volatile, you don't know if they're gonna show up to the arena that night and feel like giving max. These girls be out here hooping, man. And if you're good for it, you're good for it, right? Shout out to my girl Mabry. tonight. Hit another 9 threes, set a WNBA record, 53 points tonight. That's her second time hitting 9 threes, which she just tied her own WNBA record. So shout out to her, man. Tempo destroyed the Sparks tonight behind her 53. But I gave y'all a winner on Monday. I gave you another winner yesterday. Angel Reese was trying to kill the boy, right? She was trying to kill this lineup. I got home last night and everything hit except Angel Reese. And she's at 9 points and there's like 2 minutes left in the game. I'm like, come on, Angel, bro. Stop. She's done this to me before. Angel Reese has done this to me before where I needed her for 10 rebounds, like 12 rebounds, she get 11. I needed her for 10 rebounds, she got 9. So I thought she was about to do it to me again, like, okay, Angel. And usually when I got her on the ticket and somebody else going to do the damage, oh, she smoked it. I got her for 12 points. She scored 17, 18. I got her for 8 rebounds. She got 12. But, of course, the night where I just say, hey, just get 10 points, Angel. She been scoring 10 points every night easy. She got 9. I said, oh, she finna kill this one tonight. So I shut the app because I was like, I ain't getting this. And sure enough, she got to the free throw line. She made 1 or 2, got to 10 points. And I said, thank you, Angel. You an angel. And so we cashed out again. So again, if you out there and you tailing me on PrizePicks, I'm handing out heat with these WNBA picks. I think I got another winner tonight. I'll let y'all know the results of that tomorrow. And if I get to y'all early enough tomorrow, hopefully I do. Maybe I won't. I'll see if I can give out another winner. But we up this week. We up $110 on PrizePicks. Put in 20, up 100, and I think I'm up 120. I know it's 110 for sure. Might be 100, closer to like 117, like 117. We'll round it up to $120. So we hot over here, man. Get you some. At LouieTeeNetwork is where you can find me on PrizePicks. Once again, you can tell me, or you can just see what I'm doing out here. Whatever the case may be. Big shout out to PrizePicks for sponsoring. Stream. All right. So, the reason that I'm coming at you guys a little bit later tonight is because my daughter had her college orientation today, and she also has it tomorrow, right? So it's a 2-day orientation. I think I've already told you guys this, but my daughter got accepted into VCU, and I'm so proud of her. And I had the privilege of taking her to her orientation, and it was a day-long thing. We got there at 10 this morning. I got to eat lunch with her. I got to eat dinner with her. They split us into groups, and they gave us an orientation on what we can do to help foster an environment that allows our child to thrive in college. And they, took them and, kind of gave them the initiation of being in college, what's expected of you, how you can thrive in this environment. And then we were able to come back together, eat dinner, and I was able to, really go through the day with her. It was such a surreal experience, and I couldn't be more proud of her. And it was another one of those dad moments where I kind of took a step back and was like, look at my seed, man. Look at my offspring. I raised such a beautiful daughter. I really did. Like, I'm so proud of her. She's such a great kid. And she was so nervous about was she going to make any friends. And, she's kind of shy, but when she opens up, she's a yapper, just like her dad. And lo and behold, she made 2 friends. We ate dinner together. It was just surreal, man. Just another one of those milestone moments, another one of those moments I'll never forget in my life, right? Like, I'm sitting there talking to her, asking her how she feels about the day. And she's like, Dad, I'm so happy. Like, I'm so glad I chose VCU. And I'm not going to lie to y'all. They had me wishing I went to VCU, right? Go Rams. Like, the presentation was so outstanding. And I'm going to keep it a buck with you. Richmond, that VCU campus being ingrained in the heart of downtown Richmond, that shit gives you big city vibes. It feels like you in DC It feel like you in New York, right? It feel like you in one of these bigger cities when you just in Richmond. And I love that for them, right? It was a great day. We're doing it again tomorrow. We wrapping it up tomorrow. So that's why I came to you guys so late tonight. But I just wanted to share that with y'all, man. Like any of y'all going through that, just gone through it, been through it, then you know exactly what I'm describing to you. I'm just so glad I can be a part of these special moments, you know, with my daughter. And it's my first time, and it's nothing like your first. I'm going to do this, hopefully, God spare life, with my other kids, obviously, but it's nothing like your first. And they asked us, is this your first time, you know, with a child in college? Raise your hand. And I proudly raised my hand like, yeah, man, it's my first one going to college. And it feels good. Feels good. And I know she's going to kill it. I know she's going to kill it, man. So shout out to my daughter, man, for making her damn daddy proud. She's so amazing, right? Anyway, I digress. Enough of that. Let's get to the comment section, man. Trevor Patch, been a member for 53 months. Celebrate. My guy, Trev. What up, Trev? Says, Trev was here. Blessings on top of blessings on top of blessings, man. Good to have you back in the fold. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Trev, one of the greatest trolls the LouieTeeNetwork has ever, and I mean ever, seen. Shout out to our guy, Trev Patch. While we at it, let's get to this toast, man, real quick. The annual toast to the season. The Commanders Kings, in conjunction with RVA Hilltop, or the Hilltop RVA, excuse me, brings to you the annual toast to the season. Big shout out to my guy, Twan, over at the Hilltop RVA, man. If you're looking for somebody to put your event together, this man is the man for the job. And you're going to see him in all of his splendor with this particular event, man. Last one was awesome, but there was so much room for improvement. This time we're going to nail it. And we owe a lot of the credit to Twan and his vision and the things that he was able to help do in this particular space. And he sought out this space, the Hilltop RVA. He sought out this space at the Hook Hall in DC, and he's going to help us bring it to life, right? So big shout outs to him. And the rest of the Kings, man, we finna kill it, bro. This toast to the season is going to be epic and unlike any you've ever seen before. We each have signature drinks. Ed with the chair shot. Of course, me, your man Louie T with the TNT of it's explosive. Remember, the TNT comes with a vegan cookie while supplies last. Get your TNT as soon as you walk through the door. I am not telling you got to vote for the TNT as the best drink. I'm just simply saying you got to try it. You got to try it. Also, you got the ATL Ho, which is Rico's drink, and the Rio Rita, which is Rio's drink. Try all of them. See which one you think is the best. You vote at the end, and we're going to come up with a winner for the best signature drink of the event. It's going to be a lot of fun. We've got raffles, the burgundy and gold raffle for you guys. We're going to have trivia, fan participation, so much more. It's going to be such a great event, and we want you to be a part of it. Legion, you know what to do. Mob, you know what to do. Find yourself in the building on August 23rd at Hook Hall. 4 p.m. is when we're going to kick off the proceedings. Don't meet us there, beat us there. And the link to that event in the description of this video. I'm going to also pin that comment to the comment section. $60 early bird special is how much the tickets cost. If you wait and procrastinate, which I know a lot of y'all are going to do, which is fine. I just want you to be in the building. I don't care how you do it. I don't care how you get there. Just get there if you can. Just get there. I don't care. I don't care how you get there. All right? Just get there. So, Get your tickets, $60 before August 1st, after August 1st, or after July 31st, rather, $75. Either way, I just want you in the building, man. I just want you in the building. Tickets are going fast, man. Shout out to the guy that just bought 6 tickets, man. Shout out to the guy that just bought 6 tickets. He bringing the whole fam with him. That's what I'm talking about. That's the type of love I like to see, man. We love y'all, man. Tickets is going fast. We got people buying them by the dozens. Half dozens, excuse me. Half dozens. Anyway, I digress. Big shout out to the Kings, man. Big shout out to the Legion, and big shout out to everyone. There's a lot of y'all that have already purchased tickets, man. They going faster than you think. Anyway, let's get back to the comment section. John Perez, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. My guy, JP, thank you for being a member of the MOBB, who writes, Lou, good to see you as always. Likewise, JP, always great to hear from you, my guy. Says, no matter what Aiyuk says, I want him with us. Same thing, bro. We are here. We are here. Same thing. Like, none of this stuff turns me off to Aiyuk being here. All right. Again, could he handle this situation differently? Yes, absolutely. And for those who don't want him, I get it. I understand. Doesn't change the way I feel. Doesn't change the way I feel, but I understand where you're coming from. But at the end of the day, he's not a bad guy. He's not going to hurt us in this locker room. I promise you. I promise you, he's not a bad teammate. You haven't heard one San Francisco 49er say one bad word about Brandon Aiyuk. Not one. And you're not going to, because he's not a bad teammate. He's not a bad guy. That would be the line. If I heard that, hey, man, love this dude to death, but, you know, things could get a little dicey, man. Or we've seen him blow up on the sidelines. You've never seen an instance of Brandon Aiyuk causing a stir on the sidelines, and you've never heard a teammate utter a bad word about this guy. He just ghosted him. He wanted out. So I want him here because he makes us a better football team. It's simple as that. He makes us better. Also, thoughts on your Grizzlies draft and Boozer in the NBA draft overall. I like the pick. Like Cam Boozer. So let me just clarify something. I didn't want Cam Boozer. You guys knew what I wanted to do. And I knew I wasn't going to get what I wanted. And what I wanted and what we needed are two different things. All right. What I wanted and what we needed are two different things. We're trying to build a team that allows you to compete at a high level, brick by brick, piece by piece. In the NBA draft, your goal is to try to find a superstar. Is Cam Boozer a superstar? No, he's not going to be a superstar in this league. Is he going to be, at worst, he's a number 3 on a team, a championship level team? At best, I think he is a high, and I mean high level number 2, a high Robin. I don't think he's a Batman, though. I don't think he'll ever be a Batman. And that's what, if you're drafting 3rd, you should be trying to swing. I think Darius Acuff could end up being a Batman. And that's who I wanted. And I get it. He's a smaller guard. You're drafting Ja Morant all over again, essentially, except without, you know, with the ability to shoot, which Acuff can shoot, but he's not a great defender. He's a bit undersized. And so there's that whole, you know, narrative again. And I don't care about none of that. I just care about his ability to score, his ability to distribute, his ability to shoot, his ability to get to the rim. He can do all those things. And I was more smitten by that. But Cam Boozer is an analytics darling. We know that's what our general manager, Zach Kleiman, loves. And he's a modern big, right? He can stretch the floor. He can, you know, finish around the rim. He's got a back to the basket. Well, I don't want to say he's got a great back to the basket game. He doesn't, but it's good enough, right? What big has a great back to the basket game other than the elites, like a Joel Embiid and a Joker? Other than those two, don't know big in the league got a real back to the basket game. So he fits right in with today's big. He can go down on the block, though, and finish around the rim. He can rebound the basketball. He can move his feet out on the perimeter as a defender. He can shoot the three at a high clip. He can pass the basketball. He's a very high IQ basketball player. He fits everything that they want. He's gonna fit very nicely next to Zach Edey in that front court. It's a really good pick. I have no qualms about it. I was hunting for a superstar. He's got star quality, not superstar. I was hunting for a superstar. Anyway, I thought the draft overall was exactly what I thought it was going to be. What did I tell y'all before we got off the air, right before the draft, or right as it started? I said, this draft is going to go chalk. All this noise about, Darren Peterson not working out for no team but the Wizards, and then, last second, he talked to the Jazz. I'm like, bro, this draft is going exactly the way they told us it was going to go when this process first started. DeBanza 1, Peterson 2, Boozer 3, and Wilson 4. And then the draft starts after that. And that's exactly what happened. I said Wagler goes 5th. I think I told you guys that. And then I said I thought that Acuff would go 6th. I think, if I'm not mistaken, the Kings traded back one spot and then took him at 7. So it still went exactly the way I thought it was going to go. My guy, Abner Durant. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you, my guy, Ab. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB, who writes, my man, Lou. What up? What up, Ab? Hope you and the fam are all right. Likewise. Likewise, Ab. Maybe some people label BA as a bad person. I'm not. I just don't like his immature and rebel behavior and the potential to acting like that if he ever gets here, and the potential for him to act like that if he ever gets here. And I get that. And I would agree with you if there was ever any evidence of him doing that. We saw him be immature like this before. We've seen him want his way and act out in this manner to try and get his way. We've seen him do that. And the second he got his way, which was his contract in San Francisco, the faucet was shut off. You didn't see any more of this. I think that's where we're at right now. I'm throwing temper tantrums. I'm doing this thing to get my way because it happened the last time and I got my way. So I'm going to do it again. And then once I get my way, I go back to normal, business as usual. That's what I think is going to happen. You could call this unprofessional. Yeah, it's unprofessional. It's unprecedented. We've never seen a player conduct in this manner before. We've never seen a player walk away from $30 to $40 million of guaranteed dollars so he could play for another team. We've never seen a guy walk away, be placed on a list, which essentially says you walked away from guaranteed money. Brandon Aiyuk told the NFLPA not to file a grievance on his behalf because he wanted out of San Francisco that bad. Don't file a grievance. I don't want the money. I just want out. I don't think he's going to do that here. If I did think there was a chance that could happen, I'd be right there with you saying, I don't want him. He's a loose cannon. He's too divisive. We can't afford that. Too many good vibes around here. I don't think he's going to subtract from the vibes. I think he only adds to it. As crazy as that may sound right now. He's not going to be a distraction. It's not going to be a distraction. Not here. If Adam Peters thought he was a distraction, he wouldn't bring him here. He wouldn't bring him here. I truly believe that, Ab. I truly believe that. He would not jeopardize. And he still may not bring him here. That's the part we don't know. But I'm still banking on the statement he made back in March where he was asked about Brandon Aiyuk and he could have easily said, he's on another team. I can't talk about him. But instead, he chose to vouch for Brandon Aiyuk's character. That told me all I needed to know. So I don't think he's as selfish as you think, Ab. He's being selfish right now because it's all about him. This contract situation in San Francisco is all about him. He wants out. He is no longer a part of that team. So it is about him. So he can be selfish right now. The minute he is back a part of a team, we've seen this in San Francisco, right? The contract situation that he had, he did this. He was being selfish because at that time, it's about you. We watched Terry be selfish last offseason. I said, Terry, go be selfish, bro. Go get your bag. You have to be selfish in situations like this. Again, there's a way to go about it. Some people didn't love the way Terry went about it. People call Terry selfish. You do what you got to do when you're in a situation where you feel like I got to do what's best for me. Again, there's a way to go about it. There's a decorum that you would like to see executed. But at the end of the day, he does have a see me attitude right now. But the minute he's a part of a team again, there's no more individual Brandon Aiyuk, look at me, look at me, look at me. It all becomes about the team then again. I believe that firmly. John Week, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. My guy, John Week, writes, when BA hits the, hey guys, with the hand clap into talking about check out the Commanders World Tour, playing the drums and shit, I thought bro had a paid promotion from us. That shit was crazy, bro. Like, for him to actually be pushing Commanders tickets, he cut a promo is what he did. He cut a promo. I told you, I've never seen this before. A guy want to be on our team this badly. I've never seen it before. The guy literally cut a Commanders promo. He is selling Commanders tickets for the Commanders, and he doesn't even play for the team. He's currently on an entirely different NFL roster, and he cut a Commanders promo today. That's some wild stuff. John Week, that's wild. J-Dub Clatt, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. J-Dub Clatt writes, what's good, Lou? What's up, J-Dub? What's good with you, bro? He says, what are your thoughts on Cameron Boozer? Also, I don't know if you watch Duke basketball, but Malik Brown is from my hometown and got drafted by the Spurs. And Aiyuk, is Aiyuk worth it at this point? Of course, I watch Duke basketball. Shout out to my guy Malik Brown for getting drafted by the Spurs. You saw what the intent was from the San Antonio Spurs in this draft. They drafted 3 bigs essentially because they didn't have the depth in their front court. And, Malik Brown is a scrappy dude, man. I really think there's a place in the NBA for him as a defender. He's an elite defender, but his offensive game is so limited that he's going to have to be elite at the NBA level as a defender. And while he can switch on just about any position, I think 1 through 4, if a team's playing small ball, he can switch on any position. He can guard guards out on the perimeter. But if you put a true big against, he's not going to be able to hold up. But I think he could be an elite NBA defender. If he can ever shoot the 3 and be like a legit NBA 3-and-D guy, he's got a shot as a second-round pick. But Cam Boozer, I already talked about him. I like the pick a lot. I don't love it because I don't think he can be a superstar in this league. I think he's a star, right? I think the floor is extremely high. The ceiling, not so much. And I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. But we still need a superstar in Memphis. And I think in the past, I would have been over the moon about this pick. But after having Ja Morant and getting a taste of what it's like to have a superstar, I hunger for that again. And I may never get that again. We may never see anything in Memphis quite like that ever again. We hit an inside straight, and somehow Ja managed to F this whole situation up. And I hate it. But that's just, it wasn't meant to be, I guess. But now I thirst and hunger for that again. And I know Cam Boozer isn't that. But he's a damn good basketball player. Is Aiyuk worth it at this point? Why wouldn't he be? You asked the question, and I hate answering a question with a question, but why wouldn't he be? Why has anything changed? Because he made another video. He's gonna, guess what? Newsflash, he's gonna make another video and another video. There's gonna be another story and another story and another post. You think he's done? No, he's not done. That's not gonna change anything. Yes, he's worth it. J-Dub clap. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Double up. Thank you for doubling up. J-Dub clap writes. Also, Lou, any advice for me heading into my senior year of college? And also, is there a position that scares you on offense or the defense? I know it's June, but early record prediction. I'm not going to give you my record prediction. I'm going to save that for the Kings event. All right, that'll be the first time I give you. But you already kind of know the, where I lie on the record. I've already given you a range, but I'm not going to give you a prediction yet. But I've got high hopes for this team. I'll just say that. We'll talk about that a little bit later down the line. But I think this is one of the best years for like defining what is success for the Commanders this year. I remember I asked a lot of people that last year. What defines success for the Commanders? That was easy last year because you're coming off the NFC Championship game. You're coming off of 5-12, right? A lot of unknowns. What is a successful season this year? We're going to talk about that later on in the summer. What does that look like for the Commanders? I think I know what the answer is. I've asked some people. They've given me the answer that is easy to give, and I kind of agree with them. But what says you? We'll talk about that down the road. Any advice heading into your senior year of college? Yeah, I got tons of advice for you. But this is the biggest thing. I won't talk your head off. All right. Enjoy it. I equate your senior year of college to your senior year of high school. You're never going to do this again. I mean, you could if you want to. But getting your master's isn't getting your, bachelor's. Getting your doctorates isn't getting your bachelor's. Like, it's one of those times in your life that it's a seminal moment in your life. You probably forged relationships with people that will become either lifelong friends or people that, will be a part of your life moving forward. You've learned so much. You've grown. You gain independence when you go to college. And so cherish this because time, it flies, bruh. 1 minute you're graduating from college, the next minute you're taking your daughter to her college orientation. Life comes at you fast. So enjoy it. Savor this, man. Enjoy every single aspect of this, including your capstone, bruh. Enjoy all of it because you're not going to do this again. That's my advice to you. Is there a position that scares me on offense or defense? Yeah. The secondary as a whole. Corner. I'm not as concerned about corner unless the depth is tested. Then I'm scared. I'm perfectly fine with the corners that we're going to put on the field because of the scheme and how it's set up. I think the guys are going to be fully capable of doing what needs to be done. I'm more concerned with the safety position because even with the guys that we're putting on the field, I'm not sure if they can get the job done or not. Like, Will Harris is cool. Is Will Harris good? I don't know. Right? I wasn't blown away by Will Harris last year. All right. You know how I feel about Jartavis. The only safety that I have any confidence in is Nick Cross. God forbid anything happens to any of the safeties And we got to start tapping into our depth. Good luck with that, right? So, yeah, safety scares the bejesus out of me. But the secondary as a whole, I think, is a unfinished product. But safety in particular, offensively, I don't think there's a position that scares me at all. I feel pretty confident in most positions, and I'm comfortable with all of them. The one position that I am not 100% sold on is running back, and that's just because of Bill. Bill's the X factor. If Bill is what I think he is, then that position is it's great. I worry about tight end only because so much of the success of that position hinges upon Chig Okonkwo. Again, if he's healthy, tight end's going to be so good. So good. Right? Anything happens to Chig. Uh-oh, SpaghettiOs. So I'm not really concerned, but similar to the cornerback position, I feel that way with tight end. I don't really need to tap into the. First of all, there is no depth at corner to tap into. Whereas with tight end, there is depth. I just don't want to tap into it. I don't want to have to tap into it. John Week, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Double up. Thank you for doubling up. Who writes? Lil Lou College Fund super chat. Man, I appreciate it. Yeah, today was one of those days, man. One of those days my wife asked me, how was it? I said, it's a day I'll never forget. It's another one of those days I'll never forget. Took a bunch of pictures. I'm a big picture guy. Like I like to capture the moment and encapsulate it in a photo or 2 or 3 or 30 and be able to look back on it. You know, my wife is one of those in the moment type people. She'll go a whole event, not take a single picture, and now you have to replay it in your mind. I'm one of those people that I want to have that photo, and I want my phone to remind me, hey, this is what you were doing last year this time. Hey, remember this 3 years ago? I want my phone to do it, and I just want to be able to look at my phone fondly and have all of those memories come rushing back by looking at my phone for 30 seconds, going through these pictures real quick. Like, oh, look at that. I want to be able to look back at those pictures with my daughter 7 years from now and say, remember this day? I'll never forget it. And she'll never forget it. So, yeah, man. Today was one of those days. Oops. Ab, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Double up. Ab, thank you for your generosity, guy. You know what this calls for. Big ups to Ab for the generosity, man. Can't thank you enough for the generosity on the $50 dono. My guy, Ab, writes, I think this kind of distraction affects the franchise culture this new group is building, but the last word will be APs. Knowing AP, what's your guess? What do you guess he's thinking and what will he do? It seemed AP supported BA before all of this circus. Still think he does? That's a great point. If you want to play devil's advocate, if you're going to go off of what I said about what AP said in March, this was before all of these antics. So, yes, I do think you could play devil's advocate and say, well, AP made that statement before all of the chicanery. I would counter back, though, and offer this rebuttal and say, BA's done this before. And Adam Peters' response was, I can still vouch for his character. Okay. So he did this before, back in 2024. And Adam Peters still elected to vouch for his character. So I don't think this changes how they feel about him at all whatsoever. And again, because he's not in a Commander's uniform, if he were doing this as a Commander, then obviously it would be too late. He's already on the roster at that point. But you don't think they're going to sit down with him and talk to him when they go to sign him, right? He gets released. Let's talk about this. So he gets released by the 49ers. We all know where he's going. You know, the funniest part about this whole Brandon Aiyuk saga, the funniest part that's hilarious to me is that all of these media types, right? All of these insiders, the Adam Schefters, the Albert Breers, right? The guys that are just befuddled by Brandon Aiyuk's behavior, which I get, right? Like, Aiyuk hasn't made this process easy on himself. He could have, I think, fast-tracked this already. But they keep bringing up that he's untradeable. This is the 5th time Bleacher Report has put out an article. Brandon Aiyuk is untradeable. Duh! He did that on purpose. He's tanked his trade value on purpose. He doesn't want to be traded. He doesn't have a no trade clause. This is him invoking. I told you, he's doing all of this intentionally. He is invoking his no trade clause by going out and making sure that there's no value in trading for him. One, he'd have to renegotiate his contract. He's not doing that for anybody but the Commanders, but they're not trading for him. 2, when he gets released, you don't think Adam Peters is going to have a conversation with him like, hey, all right, Brandon, you got what you wanted. Now it's time to really go to work. You come here. We need the Brandon Aiyuk that I've come to know and love. The guy that I knew was one of the hardest workers in that 49ers locker room. The guy that when you turned on the tape, you see running 40 yards down the field, blocking for Christian McCaffrey as he gets into the end zone. I need that BA. That's what I'm signing up for. That's the guy. That's the passion. Channel all that energy that you got for the 49ers. Channel that shit into helping his Commanders team be the best product that they can be on the field. You don't think that conversation is going to happen, Ad? You know that conversation is going to happen. We've seen Adam Peters. He's a straight shooter, bro. Adam, for all of the smiles, and Adam's smile is big, man. Adam's got a big, infectious smile. For all of that smiling and all the teeth you see from Adam Peters, there's a demon inside there, bro. We've seen him where he ain't budging, where he's going to set a hard line. He's going to draw this line in the sand and dare you to cross it. I dare you. You think he's not going to set parameters with Brandon Aiyuk when he gets here? You know he is, Ad. And Brandon is a guy that's going to fall in line. Again, you've never seen Aiyuk when he's healthy and he's locked in. You've never seen him do this before. It's only when he's trying to get his way. This is his recourse of action when he's trying to get something to happen. He's trying to force something to happen. This is the way he goes about it. Again, you don't have to love it. Hell, I don't love it. I wouldn't do it, but it ain't me. This is how he chooses to go about it. I even hate when players who are looking for a contract, I'm going to delete my social media and scrub it clean of all things having to do with the team that I want a contract from. That shit is lame. I hate when people, I wouldn't do that bullshit. But who am I to tell somebody how to go about trying to get to the bag? Do whatever you think you need to do to get the intended outcome that you're looking for. I can't knock the hustle. I don't have to agree with it, but I can't knock the hustle. So I'm very comfortable. I think Adam Peters is sitting back. He's probably getting a kick out of this shit, laughing like, man, this dude Aiyuk's crazy, bro. He's a funny guy. And when I say crazy, I don't mean that I'm saying that tongue in cheek. I don't mean that literally. He's not crazy. He's probably like, man, Aiyuk's a wild dude, man. You seen the latest IG story from this guy, man? Aiyuk's a hoop, man. He's selling Commanders tickets. They probably laughing about this shit. This doesn't change the way they feel about him at all. Because they know once he gets here, all of this shit shuts off. And Aiyuk, the football player, turns on. He's going to turn that TV off, and he's going to turn the Brandon Aiyuk TV, the football player, on. Justin Evans. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Justin writes, speak on AJ to the Wiz, the player and fit. Best player in the draft to me. I know a lot of people think that Cam Boozer is the best player in the draft. But again, pound for pound, is Boozer the most consistent player in the draft? Yeah, I believe that's the case. Is he the best? Maybe he'll prove to be the best. I think the guy with the highest ceiling in this draft is AJ DeBansa. That's what I think. He's the guy that can come in here and average 27 points, a night, be the go-to guy, and be a real NBA superstar. He has that kind of talent. And he has the mentality to do it too, right? I think it's a great fit. Because you don't have a big if there's no AD, you don't have a real big on the roster. I don't like the way AD is going about his business. I like, if I'm a Wizards fan, I'm not. I'd be like, man, get this man out of here, bro. Like, first of all, you're not going to put no gun to my head trying to get basically, a max contract out of me because he wants a new deal. That's why he's doing this. I wouldn't give it to him because he going to get hurt. He's not the AD that he was 3 years ago. That guy's gone, but he's still better than 75, 80% of the bigs in the league. And because of that, he can warrant the type of money that he's looking for. You're not going to carry me the way he's carried me. But the Wizards are desperate. And so I think they're going to cave and they're going to give him what he's looking for. I hate it. I hate how some of these NBA players conduct themselves. But again, I just talked about Brandon Aiyuk. I can't be mad at AD doing what he feels like he needs to do to get to the bag. I don't have to like it. I don't. But I feel a lot different about NBA players because I feel like they're spoiled brats. They're rich and entitled. No sport gets paid like NBA players, right? Baseball players get to the bag, but they got to work for that shit. I mean, NBA players hit the league and immediately make millions upon millions. Major League Baseball players hit the league and they get one big contract. Now, if you like that, it's a massive one, right? It's $500 million, right? But those first 6 years in the league, those first 5 years in the league, bro, you're not making shit. That's why you get that big contract. NBA dudes is making it from the word go, and they just keep making it. And now them NBA dollars is going crazy. Crazy. What is John Wall? What is Trae Young done in the last 2-3 years to demand that kind of bag? You tell me, I'm waiting. That's just the NBA. Those are the NBA numbers, bro. Love the fit, especially if AD's in the mix. That's a legitimate playoff starting five. The question is, can you stay healthy? Which Trae Young ain't been healthy, AD ain't been healthy, right? Hell, Alexander Sarr hasn't been healthy. He just had off-season surgery. So can you stay healthy? And what does the bench look like? How productive is the bench? But the fit, it's phenomenal. It's phenomenal. Because he can play off the ball. You can put the ball in his hands, which is what I think you should be doing, but he doesn't have to have it in his hands to be dynamic. He can cut to the rim. He can hang out around the three-point line. He can play off the ball. But in those moments where you could sub him out or keep him in, he's the young buck, take Trae Young out. Now he can get to have the ball in his hands with that second unit, or he can have the ball in his hands and dominate the basketball when Trae Young's out of the game, right? And he can be the facilitator. He can be the guy that creates offense for himself and others. So I like the fit. I like the fit a lot. J-Dub Clap, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. My guy, J-Dub Clap writes, also, congrats to your daughter. I appreciate that, man. I really do. I remember when I was first entering college, it is definitely a process, but it's all worth it in the end. And he says, I think, and VCU, from what I heard, is a great school. I'm convinced they're a great school after today. Like, sitting in, like, going through their, the different buildings, meeting so many different people, seeing, I can only imagine the changes that the buildings and the facilities have undergone with all the money that's being funneled into the VCU program. They got a state-of-the-art library that I just think is awesome. And, I'm a vegan, obviously. So I'm very choosy, picky about what I eat. And I went to the calf and I'm like, they got vegan options. I'm like, oh my God, this is amazing. They actually care about me. And this could be every school now, right? I just know that I was blown away by everything. And I really, truly believe my daughter is about to get a great education at a school in her particular field. They specialize in her field, which is part of the reason why she chose that school. I think she's going to have just a tremendous experience, and I couldn't be more excited for her future. Like, hear me talking like a proud dad. Like, it's just crazy, man. It's surreal, honestly. It's crazy. But congratulations to you, man. You're almost at the finish line, and with the work that you've put in, there's going to be opportunities waiting for you on the other side. And I hope that you've taken advantage of this time to be ready to take full advantage of that opportunity when it presents itself. Abduran, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Abduran, my guy Abner, writes, in other matters, my friend, congrats for your daughter's achievement. I appreciate that, man. I really, truly do. It's mostly hers, yes, but it is for sure also a family dub. It is, no doubt. Like, you don't get to this point without the supporting staff, right? The supporting cast. Like, my daughter's the star, right? But she's got a hell of a supporting cast, bro. I'm the 3-and-D guy, right? I'm locking it down. I'm in that corner waiting. Anytime she need me, right? Dad, I need this, Dad. I'm in the corner. I'm ready. Pass it to me. I'll knock it down, right? Her mom has been, very influential in her life. She's got brothers and sisters that have been there for her, helped shape and mold her. She's just a great kid, man. And so it's absolutely my wife has been a tremendous bonus mom to her, right? Like, my wife has been so big in this entire process. And it just, it takes a village. You hear that all the time, right? It takes a village. Literally, that's what happened. Took a village. And I couldn't be more proud of the end result of the village coming together and helping produce this outcome, right? He says, enjoy it and rejoice. I am happy for you. Thank you so much, man. I couldn't be more prouder of my daughter and what she's become and what the future holds for her. Once again, I appreciate the love, man. Appreciate y'all, for sure. J-Dub Clap, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. J-Dub Clap writes, the Wizards are building a squad, and Peterson says he wants to win a chip as a rookie, which I thought was bold. And also, Lou, thank you for your content. I watch you on and off season. You a real one, guy. I appreciate that. Peterson said he wants to play all 82 games. I think that was him basically trying to shut the naysayers up who were like, bro, you want to play all 82? How about you try playing 50 first, right? With all the cramps and all the, injury concerns that teams had about him coming off the season he had last year. Of course, he wants to win a chip in his rookie season. Obviously, that's not going to happen, but sounds nice, right? Sounds great. I appreciate the support, man. I always tell y'all, none of this exists without you guys. So I really, truly do appreciate all of y'all support and your dedication, because for as much time and effort as I put in, you guys put in just as much time and effort watching it. All right. Kicking it with me like this. It's almost midnight on the East Coast. And here you are kicking it with me, chopping it up with me. And again, you could be all the way on the left coast and it ain't but 8 going on 9 o'clock, right? But wherever you at watching this, I appreciate you nonetheless. And big shout out to y'all. So thank you so much. J-Dub Clap. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. My guy J-Dub writes, also your thoughts on the Giannis and LaMelo Ball trades. The Giannis trade, I don't know if I've even spoken about this to you guys, but the Giannis trade, I just felt like I've always said this, and I find this to be true. You can never get equal value for a superstar in any sport, especially basketball. However, felt like the Heat gave up half, like 2/3 of their squad to get Giannis. Like, how the hell are you supposed to win with the squad that they like? And again, they're gonna have time to put something together around him, but it's not like they had a B squad to begin with. But they the sum of the parts, right? They would beat you up with depth, and if they could add a guy like Giannis to that equation with the depth that they could throw at you, they would have had a shot. You still needed more firepower, but you're not winning anything with Andrew Wiggins. And maybe they'll use Andrew Wiggins as a piece to get something back and get 2 players, right, for the price of 1 back in return for him, flip him and turn him into 2, viable players. Like, you're starting backcourt. What's the kid's name from Sacramento that went to Baylor? Like, he's your starting point guard. And I mean, Norman Powell's a free agent. What's Norman Powell? 33 years? Like, what are we talking about here, man? What are we supposed to do in Miami with? If you think you're winning a championship with Bam Adebayo and Giannis as your 2 best players, yeah, right. When's the last time we saw a team win a championship essentially with your best players being 2 bigs? When's the last time we saw that happen? And I know Giannis, if he's healthy, still top 2 player in the league, probably right behind Joker, probably the second best player in the league, when fully healthy and engaged, walking double-double, damn near triple-double every night. Double-double for sure. But they don't have the requisite shooting around him like they did in Milwaukee. And he wasn't going to win shit in Milwaukee anyway. So Miami took a massive swing. I don't think it's going to net them what they're looking for. They're going to have to construct a roster around him. Good luck. We'll see what they can do. But I don't love it. And, for Milwaukee, they had to try something. It wasn't going to work in Milwaukee. Look, they got a championship out of it. So no one was, crying for the Milwaukee Bucks. But they got a lot of stuff. But that doesn't change them. I think both teams got worse. Or at a bare minimum, let me say it like this, because I don't think Miami got worse. I don't think they got significantly better. Milwaukee got worse because you took one of the best players in the NBA off of their team and added a bunch of depth. None of those guys are stars, including Tyler Hero. And so you added a bunch of pieces, but none of them, there's nothing in Milwaukee now. And then you took all of that stuff off of the Heat roster, and now you got a depleted roster with 2 stars, a superstar and a star, right? And what else? As far as the LaMelo trade is concerned, I love it for the Timberwolves, except having to part ways with Nas Reed. I hate that. I hate that. I was looking forward to Nas Reed starting because you traded away, and maybe they would have always kept him on the bench anyway, because he's such a great player off the bench. But since you traded away Julius Randle, I just thought he would start naturally at the 4, and you'd have this, extremely long starting lineup, like Rudy Gobert, Nas at the 4, Jaden McDaniels at the 3, and at the 2, and whomever at the 1, right? I guess Ayo Dosunmu would be your 1. And I mean, shit, that's might be one of the longest starting lineups in the NBA. But they trade away Nas, who's a floor spacer, and I just like a gritty player, one of those dudes that I felt like would change the game for Minnesota a lot of times. I hate that, but LaMelo gives them some offensive firepower. He's going to hurt them on the defensive end. Obviously, they're going to shoot a shit ton of threes. They already were shooting a ton of threes in Minnesota already. Now they're going to shoot a shit ton more. But now they can't double Ant like they did in the playoffs last year, because if you do, and he kicks it to LaMelo and he's hot, you're in trouble. So it does give them another floor spacer. It's going to be fun to watch them offensively. I don't know if this necessarily makes them a contender, though, if that makes sense. I don't know if this makes them a contender, but they're going to be a fun team to watch. I still don't think this makes. I'm interested to see what this does for Charlotte, though. Now they don't have a quote unquote superstar, right? Or even a star now. Where do they go? Like, they had maxed out where they were with LaMelo, clearly, and that's what they felt, and that's why they thought it was time to move on. They gave Kobe White a new contract, so he's going to be the new point guard there, the new starting point guard. You get Nas Reed, and you're going to probably insert him into the starting lineup. And I like that lineup. I think you're going to have Diabate at center, Nas Reed at the 4. You're going to have Miles Bridges at the 3. You're going to have Con Knuppel at the 2, and you're going to have, more likely than not, Kobe White at the 1. I love that starting lineup, but you don't have a star now. Maybe the sum of the parts, gets it done there, but, we'll see. That's a young, intriguing team, and maybe this is addition by subtraction. I don't think it is, but they had to try something, right? They had to try something. As far as the 2033 first-round pick that they got, it's unprotected. You have to do that in a trade like this. When do you think the Minnesota Timberwolves are going to be asked? It's not going to be in 2027. It's not going to be in 2028. It's not going to be in 2029. You got to project that by the time Ant is, 32 years old, he might not even be in Minnesota anymore, but if he is, they're asked by then. So you got to push this first-round pick unprotected all the way out. I like it for both teams. We'll see what it does. John Wick, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. My guy, John Wick, writes, "Hey, Lou, in the vid, you hear what this BA called himself. What's up, y'all? It's your boy, Beaky." I tried to turn on, like, the caption. I don't know what he said. I don't know what he called himself. I don't know if I thought he said BE, which I'm like, what the hell is that? I don't know what he called himself. I was trying to decipher what he said. Did he call himself Beaky? I don't know. He called himself something. It wasn't BA. That's for sure. He called himself something else. If anybody knows the answer to that, I would love to hear what you think the answer is to that. But whatever the case may be. Yeah, I heard it. I don't know what he said, and I desperately tried to figure it out, but I couldn't. So I'm taking all submissions. So right now, the only one I have is Beaky from you. I don't know what he said though. Oh man. Anyway, somebody, Abel Ambrosio just asked about beef stew in Memphis. I love it. I love it for the money. 2 years, $15 million per, so basically 2 years, $30 million, which you can't beat that with a bat. This is one of two things. Either they're going to fall in love with him in Memphis, and I think they brought him in to be an enforcer for you already had an enforcer in Zach Edey. Now you have another enforcer in Beef Stew for Cam Boozer and some of the other young players on this roster. But ultimately, he's as gritty as it gets. And we had no backup center last year. When Zach Edey went down, we called up Taj Gibson to come play center for us down the stretch of last season was a disaster. Now, I get that we were tanking, and calling Taj Gibson helped them lose ball games at the end of the season. I'm well aware. But we didn't have any depth in the front court. And, you know, rest in peace to Brandon Clark. You know, his untimely, tragic death, you know, also hit us hard in the front court. And, you know, trading away Tripp and just looking at what we had nothing. So to replenish it with Kareem Lopez, who is a guy you drafted for the future, 19 years old, going to continue to let him develop. You know, drafting Boozer, obviously, and then trading for Beef Stew. Now, all of a sudden, you went from no front court depth to an abundance of front court depth if everyone's healthy. And I think more importantly, this is a very tradable asset. If like this is what OKC does, they go and get a depreciated asset. Pistons trying to shed, you know, salary cap so they can go out and make a big splash. I hope they don't give Jalen Duren, you know, $35 million a year. Like, he's ass. I shouldn't say that. He's not worth the money. Let's just say that. All right. He's a regular season big. He is not a postseason big because he cannot shoot. All right. Anyway, I digress. You take a depreciated asset. How many times have we seen OKC do this, right? You know, go get a Shea Gilgeous-Alexander and turn him into what he turned into. Go get a Chris Paul when he's nothing, flip him for something. Go get Paul George, right? Not that he was ass, but they went and got Paul George to team him up, but then flip him, right, for something big, right? You know, oh my God, why am I blanking on his name? Sheesh. Why can't I think of his name? Russell Westbrook. Lord have mercy. Russ was never a depreciated asset, but his time had run out. What did he do? Flip him for some picks, right? How many guys did we see them flip for, you know, picks? This is an opportunity for them to go get Beef Stew and flip him. Because at the trade deadline, when a team's looking for an enforcer, a big on a cheap contract with a team option for next year that you're going to pick up at $15 million, you're going to be able to get a first-round pick for Beef Stew, bro. If they don't fall in love with them, which they might. But this is as good a contract that exists in the NBA. And everybody was, I told you, this is one thing you can't say about our organization, that we aren't smart and that you can say what you want about Zach Kleiman. What you can't say is that he's not smart, he's not shrewd, and that he's not able to manipulate situations and make it work for Memphis in their behalf, in their favor. He traded back twice on draft night in the first round and drafted the guy that he was going to draft at 16. Picked up 5 second-round picks, and everybody's like, what the hell is he doing? And then traded 3 of them for Beef Stew. Didn't have to give back, you know, salary in the deal because we had a trade exception that allowed us to take on the contract. And now you've got one of the best NBA contracts that's going to be extremely tradable and worth, again, if he plays well and he's healthy at the trade deadline, you're going to be able to finesse somebody for a first-round pick. That is mastery level movement by Zach Kleiman. That's some OKC level shit that he just executed. So I love it. Ghostbuster, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Ghostbuster writes, he said Big Beasky. Okay, that sounds like some shit that he could have said. That's what it, because I couldn't make it out. I was like, did he say B-E? That's what it sounded like. Beasky sounds like what he said. Okay, I can get with that one. All right. That one, ding, ding, ding. I'm going with that one. I'm going with that one. Beasky. All right. John Perez Sports. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Double up. Good. Big shout out to Ghostbuster for solving that mystery for us. Beasky. That we going with that. My guy JP writes, is Terrion Arnold's NFL career? Oh, good one. This is why I need my podcast back. Because we would have spent the first 25, 30 minutes on this Terrion Arnold shit. This is wild. It might be. I can't say definitively that it is, because when the what's the edge rusher for the Atlanta Falcons from Tennessee? That's a second-year player. Pierce Jr. When Pierce Jr. shit first happened, oh, shit. Oh, no. We suck again. I said, his shit's over, bro. He about to Henry Ruggs himself out of this bitch. Less Henry Ruggs, because Ruggs actually killed somebody. More, what was the name of the corner that was drafted in the first round by the Giants out of Georgia that, you know, duct tape and hog tied a dude and was robbing folks out here with Bashad Breeland, and ended up getting cut and basically went to Kansas City and then was out of the league after that bullshit. I can't think of his name, but the bottom line was he was ass. So it made it easy for the league to be like, man, shit, he ain't worth it. James Pierce was like that in his rookie season. So now that he's been acquitted or charges have been dismissed, the Falcons are like, shit, this man had 7.5 sacks and was a problem last year in limited duty. Hell no. If he is acquitted or at a bare minimum charges dropped, we definitely bringing him back. Terrion Arnold is ass. Basura. All right. And so I think this situation, which we don't know all the details, but they gave us some pretty explicit details as to how this shit potentially supposedly went down. And if this is in fact true, and they find him guilty of these charges, yeah, he's done. He's cooked. Yeah, there's no way around this shit. And it feels like they have proof. Now, how concrete is this proof? We'll see. Because a lot of it is on the cellular device, and that's damning evidence. But some of it is also word of mouth. And if you get a witness to flip, some of the evidence can be, you know, inadmissible in court, and all of a sudden the case could fall apart. And what felt like oh my God, Terrion Arnold's career is over is just a slap on the wrist. And maybe the league, you know, hits him with a 4-game suspension, but he's back, you know, not too far down the road. This feels really bad though. Like, we out here duct tape and torture, you know, like he's some kind of kingpin boss. Like, what are you doing, bro? Like, seriously, what are we doing? For those of you who don't know the story, apparently he felt like some dudes had robbed him of some merchandise. He didn't know who did it, but word out on the street was it was these dudes. So now he's got to act like a big, bad, tough guy. So him and his homeboy orchestrate and set up for these dudes who they pinned all of this stuff on. Like, oh, they took my stuff. I got to get my stuff back. Ain't nobody going to rob me. I'm Terrion Arnold. So he gets these 2 females to set these dudes up. You know, this is the oldest. When are dudes going to stop falling for the, hey, these 2 girls trying to meet you at the hotel, we about to go get some ass? When are you going to stop falling for that? That's the oldest trick in the book, man. It's almost like, and I hate to say this, but it's almost like you deserve to get got. If you still, it's 2026 and you still falling for the, hey, meet me at the hotel trick. damn, when we gonna wake up? Anyway, the two girls lure them to the hotel. You got the dudes in the closet waiting on these clowns. They get in there, they pop out the closet, tie them up, beat them up. They film the whole thing on, and they're live streaming it to Terrion Arnold and his homeboy who set the whole thing up as they're en route to the hotel. It's a mess, right? It's a mess. Though they beat them up, throw them in the trunk or in the car, take them somewhere. And supposedly these dudes didn't even rob him. Those weren't the guys that actually took his merchandise. And of course, when they turned the dudes loose, they went to the authorities. Like, what in your right mind possessed you to do that? And what did you think the end game was? You thought you was just gonna walk away from this situation? I don't know, man. Some of these dudes are crazy, bro. Like, I'll say this. DeAndre Baker, thank you, Abel Ambrosio. That was the dude I was talking about that was drafted in the first round by the Giants, the corner out of Georgia that, ended up having his NFL career basically tainted. Now, he did get another shot with the Chiefs, if I'm not mistaken, but he wasn't that good. That was the problem. Terrion Arnold's not that good. So it can be, if this thing goes sideways for him, it's nothing for the Lions to be like, all right, we got, let's move on. All right. They've already started the process of trying to replace him. They drafted another corner this past draft, but it was with the assumption that Terrion Arnold was going to be healthy and he was going to be a part of the solution, not the problem. But unlike James Pierce Jr., who's actually like that, Terrion Arnold is not. So it's a lot harder to turn the other cheek when the dude that you're trying to protect is cheeks. So we'll see what happens. I've seen dudes who we felt like, oh my God, this shit is over for them. And somehow they wiggle their way out of this shit and they back on the sidelines. I thought it was over for James Pierce, bro. But anytime you're dealing with a domestic, it can always find a way to be resolved because all it takes is for the person who filed the charge, right, to say, never mind, I don't want to press charges. All right, he didn't do those things I said. Never mind. This is different. this is different. And I don't think those dudes are going back to the authorities and being like, you know what? Terrion and them boys paid us $150K a piece. We good, bro. Nah, we don't want press charges. I don't think they're doing that. So we'll see. I digress. Anyway, that is going to do it for me, your man Louie T, here on this installment of the Command Post Live. You know what it is. Post up. Take command. I appreciate y'all kicking it with the kid, man. This late. You guys are awesome. Looking forward to chopping it up with you guys next time. I got some fun ones for you guys over the weekend. And looking forward to seeing your reactions to these all of this stuff that I got in store for y'all. I told you I had heat in the tuck for y'all, so you guys enjoy. This probably, I can't guarantee this, but this will probably be the last time you'll see me in a live setting the remainder of this week. Just probably going to enjoy the family over the weekend. My daughter's going to, after this orientation, she's going to stay with us this weekend and we're just going to enjoy her. And I feel like, if I'm being vulnerable with y'all for a second, I told my wife this, I feel like this is the last time, like, I'm going to have my daughter as like a kid, even though she's a full-blown adult at this point. Like, after she goes to college, like goes off to college, that's it. I'm never going to have her like this again. So I feel like this is my last time to have her and spoil her. So I'm really going to try and spoil her over this, next week or so that I'm going to have her. So I think I'm going to just enjoy the weekend and spend time with the family. But I got some heat for y'all. Don't you worry. So hopefully y'all enjoy it, watch it, support it, share it, all that good stuff. But I can't say that you won't see me in a live capacity. You never know. Something happens, I'll be back like cook crack. But In any event, that's going to do it for me, your man, Louie T. Until next time, you guys have a good one. Take care. And big ups to y'all, man. I really appreciate y'all, man. That boy, Brandon Aiyuk, is a wild boy, man. Y'all be easy. Hey.